A lot of people, when they talk about their records, like to say, oh, it's a bad record, we could have done so much better, but this is actually one of those cases where this is a really, really bad record compared to what the group was going for. I'm going to break this down for you in a second, but the group was on pace for somewhere likely between a 312 and a 313, closer to that side of 313. However, with the new trial Loose and Citadel dropping on the PTS just last week, we had decided that we were going to go ahead and table vRG for a later date and start progressing the new trial to try to push for consoles first. This year, consoles first is extremely competitive. There are about 5 console teams that have the means to progress the new content on the PTS, so if we're going to compete, we have to be there. The only reason that this raid day happened at all is because the PTS maintenance for week 2 just so happened to be down through our raid time, so we decided to go into vRG instead. So all in all, we started progressing this just before Scions of Athelia came out. This is a really bad patch for vRG. We lost about 10 seconds, maybe even 15 on Oaks, about 10 seconds on Bahsei, and another 10 to 15 seconds on Xalvakka. This is on console, remaining in an arc comp. Since so much of vRG is trash, especially the bursty fights that include Snake and the Ash Titan, and especially with how much gear and skill swapping is required to make the DK near as effective as the Arcanist in these types of fights, we just kind of had to take the straight damage loss. So on Bahsei, if anything went wrong, time was added, period. And in this case, on Bahsei, we usually only kill one sun, but since we missed the burn by 1% to send the boss on a knee just before the second portal spawns to get a little bit of overburn, we ended up having to kill 2 suns. I calculated that this added about 15 seconds to our total fight time. It had been so long since we had cleared Bahsei to this point that some people forgot and messed up swaps. So I started my timer about 5 seconds after I'd finished my swaps, and it was another 10 to 15 seconds before we even started running to pull the next set of trash. So even when we were full vit, between the end of Bahsei and the start of the next trash pull, we lost 30 seconds alone. That brings me to Xalvakka. This is maybe one of the worst Xalvakka pulls that we have ever had, ever. These numbers that I'm giving you for Xalvakka are based on what we have done for this boss fight this patch. We have successfully made both shade skips on the second and third floor, which means that you only do 1 shade phase for each floor, killing it before the second shade phase happens at all. And here in this fight, we missed both of those. The second floor because we had a death, which put us about 1 or 2% behind from making the skip, adding about 29 seconds to our fight time. And then we ended up losing our Templar to a loose Iron Atro on the third floor, which not only shredded our XE burn, but kind of cascaded into a series of unfortunate events that resulted in us finishing the fight with only 6 total players alive. I ran a stopwatch from when the fight should have ended to when it actually did, and it added another 50 seconds to our fight, which means that we lost a total of about 1 minute and 20 seconds on Xalvakka, plus about another 30 seconds from the end of Bahsei to when we started the following trash pull, which means that if these 2 key moments didn't happen, which they normally don't, we would have finished with nearly a 313 even. Now, if it was last patch where we were about 30 to 45 seconds quicker on top of that, we're looking at about a 314. So for now, we're just going to take this 35-bit shitstorm of a run and start going into progress the new content with the intention to come clean this up later, especially next patch when damage will be a little bit higher in trials like Rockgrove especially, and we can push for that 314, 315 that we actually want. In the meantime, Rockgrove burns are a hell of a progression. Anyone who wants to sit here and take the time to progress these types of strats are more than welcome to do so. Please, go ahead, go take it, give us a reason to get back in there. But with that said, the vRG pushes are mainly Oaks and Bahsei. Xalvakka shouldn't really be the struggle, and this run was deathless up to that point with just a few time mistakes. So this is a very good look at some of the hardest burn strats in the game with just a group effort to collectively choke on the final boss. There's something there that we all could have done better, and had we done that, we might actually be looking at a somewhat clean record. But having a record's better than not having it, so without further ado, I hope you enjoy the run.